First thing first, the AI, of course, people will be calling it as an AI. We can split the AI into two type of AI. One AI more focused in terms of the robotics base, which is more using it for in terms of the involvement of the robots, whereby machines started to take a decision, meaning to say is that all the while the machines are taking the decisions or response to the changes based on the programs, meaning to say that based on the coding. The coding has been set. If in the event of A, do this. In the event of B, do this. In the event of C, do this. Meaning to say that how to respond is already been programmed, okay, on the earlier versions. Now, the AI comes in terms of rather than all those kind of a programs is already been given, meaning to say is that we already teach the machines in the event of A, do this. So we are exposed the machines to a set of scenarios and what is a possible output or possible what they call the outcomes need to be taken, right? So from there they know that how to respond. Now we are going for the algorithm whereby we are already given, so this is what they call it as a train. We already train the machine in the event of A, do this, right? In the event of B, do this. So now we are moving forward the machines to automatically in the event of A and B. So we are make the systems in order to make the decisions. Okay, so there is an algorithm still involved in terms of making the systems to take a decision, not as been already been pre-programmed. So this is what they call it as an artificial intelligence, meaning to say that the decision making ability. Okay, so of course they'll be using the ability to automate the task, okay, which is very good. But over here, what we're going to be seeing here is the systems how going to be response from the learned model, meaning learn means what is already been pre-programmed on the earlier task. Now, based on the knowing things and how the system's going to respond based on the known things and based on the new inputs comes in. So this is what they call it as an artificial intelligence. By the artificial meaning, we are humanizing the robots or we are rehumanizing the machines. That's where we are calling it from here. When the time we're humanizing this machines, what's going to be happen here is this machine's going to be used under manufacturing sectors was a lot. Okay, the manufacturing, the factories is already been coming out. So based on the input. Now, we do have a different types of the inputs. So the inputs are coming up from the human, whereby it's coming up in terms of the text, the inputs in terms of images, the input in terms of the music, the inputs in terms of the pictures. When the time the inputs, because earlier versions all are more in terms of the inputs are coming out from the text base, but now the inputs are coming out from the various type of inputs are coming in. Okay, so the various type of inputs comes in, the machine is started to understand. So when the time it's already having a various type of inputs, the systems will be started to give you the output into the various format. So that's why that type of a various of input, they call it as a generative AI. When the time I just give a one full what they call the full length of the text saying that okay, how to bake a cake. So from the how to bake a cake is something like the input that giving, and then meaning to say that the text is already started to processing it. Okay, how factors and what are the elements over here. So this kind of a text-based process is given, and then the system's giving you the output not in terms of the robots, but then in terms of the text. So you give it the text, it's just giving you the reply into the text. So that's where we call it as a generative AI. Some of the examples, we call it as a, what I call those kind of generative AI examples are Gemini, ChatGPT, and also we do have about what they call the BART and all those kind of things are coming up. Okay, so now here, let me see that what type of AI things going to be impacting the hotel industries. Okay, from here, we can calling it this kind of what they call the AI now for the hotel industry here is in terms of the automation to the personalizations. Okay, let me see that. Okay, from here, we already know that Malaysians a budget 225, right? Emphasize on the AI and automations. So when the time we're just talking about the automations and AI, why I'm just starting with the Malaysian budgets, because mean to say that various of opportunities are available in terms of AI implementations and also the task automations backed by the AIs. All right. So for the hotels over here, they will be focused in terms of the AI enables 24/7 service, guest services, whereby the chatbots comes in order to emphasizing it. Okay. Second is the streamlines operations, meaning to say that they do have a seamless, okay, integration of the process, meaning the task which whichever they want involved in terms of the customers or in terms of hotel processes is being automated. This is a task automations. We call it as a streamlined operations. And then we'll be having a dynamic revenue strategies, meaning to say that based on the data analytics, based on what type of services that we have provided, and then the data is being collected. So from the data, we will be having a more details in terms of the personalized service that what will be focused for the clients. So over here, hotel industries, AI will be having the 24/7 as a guest services, because the chatbot, they will be calling it as a chatbot, but actually it's chatbot is, we can say is that the chatbot is talking to the audience. Okay, but actually even though it's going to be audience, going to be talking it, but what we are trying to emphasize here is 24/7 guest services, meaning to say that the services is going to be provided to your customers is a personalized, number one. And number two, we do have a no time period. So they can ask anything about the organization at any point of time. Because the hotel industries, you already knows that there will be, because the audience are coming up from the international and also the local. So by the time that in the difference of the time zones and everything, will be able to support our customers. So the chatbot, we will be seeing that from the perspective of not just in terms of responding, but then in terms of the client relations. So that's where we're coming up from here, the services. The streamlined operations will be task automations, meaning to say is that reducing the timeline in order to respond to your client, right? This is what they call it, the streamline the operations. And when the time you're just talking about the dynamic revenues, new operations, meaning to say that when the time you're finding more clients needs, and from here we'll be getting a better idea what are the things can be provided to the audience. So these are the things that be coming up over here, right? Second, when the time we're just going to go for the global market hotels, we can see is that the roster, they are reducing the what they call, they reduce the food wastage in terms of 1,000 tons by introducing the AI initiative. So they are doing it in terms of the AIs, hotels. And Echo, pretty much generative AI in the mobile apps. We need to say that more personalized client-based kind of what they call in touch with the client via the mobile apps. And then they do have a robots in the Germans and Singapore's, they'll be using the concierge robots. Meaning to say that the robots are pretty much will be like a kiosk. Okay, the kiosk concepts, whereby the kiosk concepts will be coming in order to replacing, okay, they're replacing the audience over here. Of course, efficiency, and then it also comes up in terms of the cost effectiveness and cost savings, right? Pretty much will be using the AI cuts the staffing cost in terms of 12% in terms of the boutique chains, because it just coming up with a predictive maintenance. Why we'll be calling here is okay, staff cutting costs, we are not talking about the unemployability over here, but we are trying to say is that how cost effectively we can manage the operations, right? This is how we'll be using it over here. And then the predictive maintenance will be giving you the idea of before the events happens, you already knows that how does the, meaning to say that, for example, we can talking about the IoT by the implementing those kind of IoTs, okay, IoTs are implementations, and also in terms of the lift management, or in terms of the what they call, we'll be doing it by using the predictive maintenance. The data will be let you know that when the system we are facing the some downtime is going to be, or when is the time that you're going to be facing the maintenance. All this will be giving you in terms of the operational cost at the control or manageable level. So this is what the AI is comes in. All right. Of course, we'll be using it in terms of the guest experience and also the revenue impacts. We will be knowing that the chatbots for the request, and then the sentiment analysis will be comes in order to the proactive. How many hotels over here, or maybe the part of activities you are performing any of sentiment analysis, any organizations? Sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is not about the smiling. Okay, sentiment analysis will say that what is the perceptions? Okay, what is the perceptions or the service feedbacks? Okay, you are coming up from your clients. Okay, meaning to say it's a client feedback. So from the client feedback, so we will be able to know that the client feedbacks, are they happy with our services? Meaning to say that happy client equals to return client. Happy client equals to your brand ambassador of your hotels. Get the idea? Because the moment you're already starting with the what they call the getting the first client to your hotels to stepping in, before they're performing the online booking, they will be checking. Okay, so they'll be checking on the trip advisor and also the other digital problem, the digital sites, whereby they're checking what is the clients been feedbacks for those already been to their respective hotels before. What is their client's experience? Because we are in the client's experience business. services. Get the idea? So meaning to say that we are not selling the rooms, we are selling experience. We are not selling the rooms, we are not selling the hotels. We are selling experience. So when the time we are selling experience, so what is the people preserve on our this one? Or in the other word, normally people will be calling it over here is a marketing and also branding. When we're talking about the branding is pretty much branding is what we say, what we are saying about, what is the shout about our services. Branding is what the people are says about our services.